Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zam Crow here, aka Scoot, back with the World Showdown Series Season 4 Finals. And we're taking on the Peachy Bros, coach of the Adelaide Aggrons. So, yeah, a very competent player, one of the best players in this league, in my opinion. And he has a scary squad, as you can see on screen. And we played once, like I mentioned earlier. I did defeat him in week 11, I do believe. I uploaded it as my week 10 battle because my week 10 battle was forfeited. So, yeah, my week 11 opponent of the regular season was the same coach I'll be facing here in the finals. And he's got a scary squad. If you look on screen, he's got Megalopunny, Whimsicott, Blacephalon, Zapdos, Crocodile, Pikachu, Slurpuff, Tyrantrum, Exploud, Gothitelle, and Alomomola. They're listed in the order of their speed tiers. Megalopunny being the fastest, Alomomola being the slowest, and if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that I have my opponent's week 11 squad that he brought versus me, where he brought Megalopunny with Power Up Punch, High Jump Kick. He brought Whimsicott with U-Turn, Giga Drain, Moonblast, and Endeavor. And his Zapdos seemed offensive and had Roost and 3 attacks with, I think, Discharge or Thunderbolt, Heat Wave, and Hidden Power Ice. Crocodile was a 3-attack Stealth Rock set with Earthquake, Knockoff, and Fire Fang. And Gothitelle was a Choice Scarf Trick set with Thunderbolt and Psychic coverage. I forgot if it was Psychic or Psyshock. And I believe Alomomola was just there to pass wishes off. Wish Protect with Rocky Helmet. Pretty sure it was a Weavile check. If you look on screen at the top, you'll see my Season 4 Finals team that I'm bringing, and I'm actually not bringing Weavile or Salamence. And I've left my 3 low-tier mons down off the team and on the bench this week. So we have a nice Mega Diancie, Celesteela, Arcanine, Shaman, Acelgor, and Donphan squad. Our Z-move user, by the way, is Celesteela, and our opponent's Z-move user is Blacephalon, which he chooses not to bring. Blacephalon, Crocodile, and Exploud were 3 threats, 3 huge threats that I was very worried about. I'm glad, I don't have to face them. Actually, we're not in the team preview yet or the battle yet, so you actually don't know what's being brought yet. I do, so a little bit of spoilers there already. So let's talk about my team. We will just go here on our Mega Diancie and start off right here. Yeah. So we got a Mega Diancie here that speed creeps a Blacephalon, and as you see, Moonblast is our only attacking move because it's the only coverage we need. His resist to Moonblast is Blacephalon. His switch into Mega Diancie is Blacephalon, and it's 2-hit KO'd. Even at max HP after Stealth Rocks, it's 2-hit KO'd. I do have a nice tech on this thing with sub Endeavor, so I can sub up and potentially just not have to Endeavor. But if it come to the point where I did have to, and my opponent had something like, ooh, this is good actually. Say my opponent's got a Gothitelle that has tricked its Scarf away and set up a couple Calm Minds, and he brings me down to, say he doesn't actually even get to attack me, and I just sub down until I can Endeavor, and then my opponent will be at really low HP after the Endeavor because of how low I am, because of my substitutes taking 24% every time. So then Gothitelle, even at +6/+6, would only have less than 10% HP or something like that, and would be revenge killed by something like Arcanine, Acelgor. I guess not so much Shaman, because it could, Gothitelle could potentially outspeed, I think, and I wouldn't want that to happen. But yeah, I got the nice rock polish there. What rock polish allows me to do is outspeed everything, bar like Megalopony and Whimsicott behind Prankster Tailwind from Whimsicott or something like that. Max Special Attack allows me to dish out the most damage possible immediately, so that's really cool. And I really do like the sub-tech. The first time we played, I brought a Calm Mind rock polish substitute Moonblast set, so just a little different here. Instead of Calm Mind, I'm bringing the Endeavor, and my EVs are different than last time. Last time I had a little bit more bulk, a little bit less. Actually, I only had 72 EVs in special attack, so I had like 180 for elsewhere. Magic Bounce is really nice too versus my opponent, because my opponent's Stealth Rockers aren't likely to, what's the word here? If you look at my opponent's team, if you remember his team, he had what? Tyrantrum as a Stealth Rock setter. He had, what else? And his hazard removal's limited as well, with mostly defog users, Whimsicott, Zapdos. So I feel like while Mega Dynasty is not going to be my lead, Magic Bounce can still be a factor in the matchup, and maybe deter my opponent from bringing a lead rocker or something like that. So that's important in my opinion. So next up we have Celesteela with the Rocky MZ and Beast Boost. If you look at this and compare it to the set that I brought in our Week 11 match, then you'll see that this is the exact same set, the same item, same ability, same 4 moves, and same exact EV spread, with 240 HP investment and a minus defense nature with 20 EVs, 12 special defense EVs. This allows me to take hits from things like Megalopony, Crocodile, Gothitelle, Whimsicott, Tyrantrum pretty comfortably, even without like super investment into defenses. With just my HP and natural, defense stats, this is fine really, even with a minus defense nature. So we do eat a hit from a +6 Slurpuff as well, which is super nice, and my attack EVs ensure that a max HP Zapdos that has no defense is O-code after Stealth Rocks. Like if it comes, say it comes in on Stealth Rocks and an Air Slash, then the Continental Crush will knock out the Zapdos if it's only max HP. And if it's max defense as well, then I won't knock out, but I'll be able to scout for that and gauge the damage earlier in the match and determine if he is max defense, max HP or not. So my special attack investment after a Beast Boost allows me to 2-hit KO pretty much everything that's not like super bulky, or not like a Tyrantrum or something that resist Air Slash. So and outside of Zapdos, my opponent doesn't have the best fly resist, being Tyrantrum and Pikachu. So and I really hope that the Rocky MZ can show off in this match, because it didn't get a chance last time. I don't even think I did set up. I don't know if I actually threw off a Leech Seed, but I did click Autotomize. I did click Air Slash a couple times, and I think I was trapped by Gothitelle, and I think Thunderbolt knocked me out or something like that. But yeah, that's the idea behind Celesteela and Earth Management here. And next up we got Arcanine. So Arcanine gives us nice, powerful, immediately powerful Flare Blitzes, base 120. Base 120 attack there with base 110 attack stat. So that's nice, and it's better versus things like Gothitelle, like Calm Mind Gothitelle, or what else? Zapdos even. So the only problem that Flare Blitz gives us versus Zapdos over Flamethrower is the potential for static paralysis, which sucks, but it is what it is. So we have no speed investment like we did last time, because last time our speed investment didn't come into play. Exploud, Gothitelle, Tyrantrum, all those slow mons, they didn't come into play. Gothitelle was Choice Scarf, and so this time I'm bypassing on speed investment. I'm just going to go max defense, max HP with Flare Blitz, and I'm actually running extreme speed over toxic this time. Reason being, you'll see later. So we won't. I had toxic on 2 Mons last match. Got toxic on 1 Mon this time. So last time Arcanine and Shaman had toxic, but this time I don't need it on them. And you'll see why in a minute. So for now, we'll just talk about this. So Flare Blitz, like I mentioned, helps me against like Calm Mind, Gothitelle. It's better than Flamethrower in case it gets a boost up or something like that. And Extreme Speed is very nice against my opponent anyway because he has speedy things like Whimsicott, his Blacephalon, which is immune to Extreme Speed, so it doesn't matter, but it is speedy and worth noting. He's got Mega Lopunny, Zapdos, Pikachu, Crocodile, all these mons that could potentially be picked off if they're weakened enough with Extreme Speed. Morning Sun and Roar, keeping both of those moves, same as last time, because Morning Sun for longevity, reliable recovery, so on and so forth. And for Roar, it's to prevent things like Power Up Punch, Mega Lopunny from being a problem, Cosmic Power, Mega Lopunny from being a problem, and Calm Mind, Gothitelle from being a problem, or like a huge problem anyway. So that's the idea behind that. And next up, we're going to have our girl Shaman coming back this week. Shaman's actually put in some pretty good work this season, and hoping it can do the same here. We got a pretty similar, I say similar, it's almost identical to the last time we played. We got the Energy Ball, the League Seed, and the Synthesis again. The EVs are identical, and except the only difference this time is instead of the Meadow Plate, we have the Miracle Seed, and instead of Toxic, once again, we're not going to be running Toxic on this one, and we're going to be running Healing Wish instead. So this thing kind of supports Mega Diancie being a substitute variant, an Endeavor variant, and it also supports like Celesteela setting up early. I can afford to set up a little bit earlier with Celesteela and then heal back up late in the match if I need to. Defense, special defense, and HP investment allows me to take hits from things like Zapdos, Alomomola, Crocodile, Mega Lopunny, etc. And like I mentioned, the Healing Wish tech really supports Mega Diancie and Celesteela, and also helps Donphan be a better check to Blacephalon if Blacephalon kind of gets out of hand and I might need to heal up Donphan instead of my other ones. It's a very likely possibility, I suppose. So yeah, I guess that's just about it for Shaman 2. It does have the natural cure ability, which is pretty cool, I guess. It can come in on discharges from Zapdos or Thunder from Zapdos, Thunderbolt, whatever it may be. Comfortably take the hit and comfortably take the status. Really, it can. And then switch out and cure itself. So that's really dope. Lead Seed just annoys my opponent, really. Alomomola. So if I Lead Seed on Alomomola, something's getting a lot of health back. My likely switch in is Blacephalon or Zapdos or something like that, and just annoy those two. Switch into Donphan, get some recovery back, and Lead Seed back on things such as Blacephalon and Zapdos. And like I mentioned, the Miracle Seed and this 44 EVs and special attack with the Modest Nature allows me to break a sub on Whimsicott 100% of the time. It doesn't matter his spread. And I'm got enough speed investment to outpace base 100s and base 103s without any speed investment. Not that my opponent has base 103s. I'm just saying that's the mark that it would hit if he did. So yeah, that's the idea there. Nice defensive mon to annoy my opponent, really. And so finally, the reason Arcanine and Shaman don't need Toxic in this matchup is because my Selgor here says hydration ability, but it's actually unburdened. With Protect, Bug Buzz, Toxic Spikes, and Toxic, this thing is an absolute monster. It's speed creeping, Jolly, Mega Lopunny. I don't want to risk anything. I want to make sure that I can get one layer of Toxic Spikes up, if nothing else. And that is actually the key to winning the match. Not necessarily getting Toxic Spikes up, but a Selgor itself. Lead a Selgor here. So no matter what his lead is, I can always protect myself. And if he leads something that's not Mega Lopunny, then I can just straight up set up a Toxic Spike. However, if he leads Zapdos, then I would just click Toxic first and then set up a layer of Toxic Spikes. And that would be the idea behind that. I'm running max special attack because I want Bug Buzz to be putting out the most damage it can, and I don't really need HP investment. It's not going to allow me to live any hits or anything like that. And protects me from like Mega Lopunny clicking Fake Out into Quick Attack to knock me out. So basically, I avoid the 2-hit KO from Fake Out, and Quick Attack can set up a Toxic Spike. If Zapdos is in, I can just Toxic it. I pressure it to defog whilst also whittling it down a little bit, and it puts the rest of my team at an advantage, especially things like Shaman that Zapdos naturally annoys. So Bug Buzz also bypasses Substitute, so if my opponent chooses to click Sub on Mega Lopunny or Zapdos or something like that, I'm still getting damage off. And if you click Sub with Zapdos, it's going to be Toxic first anyway, so it's going to be taking poison damage. It's going to be taking Sub damage. What else? Potentially Lead Seed damage, so all kinds of different things that this Accelgor set can force. And then, like I mentioned, as long as Toxic lands on the Zapdos, then this Accelgor's did its job, and I could be pretty happy about that. This is also, I think, don't quote me, but I think this is the first time I've brought Accelgor this season. And like I did mention, I do not have the hydration ability in the match. I know it says it on screen, but in the match I did bring Unburden, and I had the Focus Sash. So my opponent could lead Blacephalon or lead Mega Lopunny or something like that, and he could be Choice Scarf, Blacephalon, but after he breaks my Sash, then I would outspeed anyway because of my Unburden ability, which allows my speed to be multiplied by 2 after my item is consumed or lost. I think only consumed. Whatever. Let's move on to Donphan. It's going to be our last mon here on the team. Just exact same set I brought last time. It's my Blacephalon counter. My Blacephalon check, actually, because if he specs Fire Blast, he could potentially 2-hit KO me, so that's pretty scary. Earthquake guarantees picks up the knockout, Rapid Spin to get rid of rocks, Protect for leftovers recovery, and hopefully Lead Seed recovery as well, versus Blacephalon and Zapdos specifically. It's also a nice check to things like Tyrantrum, and can hit Slurpuff okay. And takes a hit from Mega Lopunny, Tyrantrum, like I mentioned, Zapdos, Blacephalon, etc. So yeah, not too much to say about Donphan. It's pretty self-explanatory. I would call it self-explanatory. And yeah, that's gonna be it. And we can hop into the battle now. So we'll be right back. Alright, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring the Gothitelle, the Alomomola, the Tyrantrum, Whimsicott, Zapdos, and Mega Lopunny. So seeing my Accelgor, his most likely lead is probably going to be Mega Lopunny. If he's got Fake Out, it's going to be Mega Lopunny, no doubt. If he doesn't lead Mega Lopunny, I'm going to assume that it doesn't have Fake Out, and it probably doesn't have Quick Attack either. He's brought the Gothitelle again. Could potentially be another Choice Scarf Trick variant. Could be a Calm Mind Rest variant. Alomomola is more than likely just going to be a Fat Wish Passer again. I don't see it being anything different. Tyrantrum could be Choice Banded, Choice Scarf, Dragon Dance, Focus Sash. It could be Roselli Berry, it could be Haban Berry, Yachi Berry even. Could be Stealth Rocks, like I mentioned. It is his only Stealth Rocker, so more than likely Stealth Rocks on that thing. Whimsicott or Zapdos more than likely packing the Defog, as I do have the potential to Hazard Stack, and my opponent would more than likely want to deter that, or at least have a way to counter that in some sort of fashion or something like that. And last but not least, he's got the Mega Lopunny, like I mentioned. So more than likely just a standard set. Could be like Power Up Punch, 2 attacks, sub. Could be a Baton Pass. I don't really see him being Baton Pass because he doesn't really have anything on my team that he can take advantage of. But yeah, it could be a Fake Out Quick Attack variant. If he leads with it, more than likely going to click the Fake Out. But yeah, my designated lead is Accelgor no matter what he brought in this matchup. So that's all I'm going to do here is just lead off with my Accelgor here and see what he wants to lead with. And he's going to lead with the Zapdos. So not a bad turn 1 here. This is what I needed. I need this Zapdos Toxic. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click Toxic. My opponent can click Volt Switch, he can click Heat Wave, he can click substitute, whatever he wants. But I'm going to click this substitute, or excuse me, I'm going to click this toxic here and see if I can land on the Zapdos. As I do, and my opponent goes for the Heat Wave and breaks my sash. So now I'm at my speed's multiplied by 2, so I'm faster than everything he could potentially ever have. And Zapdos is toxic. Zapdos is poisoned here. It's going to be whittled. It's already at 94, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's going to be taking Stealth Rocks damage if I can get those rocks up. And I don't think my opponent has a way to get rid of the poison on Zapdos outside of like Heal Bell, Mega Lopunny. So hopefully that's not what he is, and we can just get up a layer of Toxic Spikes here and see what my opponent wants to do. He's going to Volt Switch out. So down goes my Selgor, and my opponent Volt Switches out and brings in the Whimsicott. So I'm going to go hard into my Arcanine here. Reason being is because I didn't want this Whimsicott to be able to freely get off a Defog if it's the Defog one, and I didn't want to bring something like Celesteela in and potentially be, Stun Spored or something weird like that. Didn't want any weird text coming out here, so I'll go straight into Arcanine here, and I'm just going to click Flare Blitz. I don't want to play any games or anything like that. I'm just going to click Flare Blitz here. It will do... It'll more than likely knock out the Whimsicott. It'll do decent damage to Gothitelle and Mega Lopunny. And Zapdos. Excuse me. And Zapdos is poisoned too, so Flare Blitz seems like the best play here. Outside of Tyrantrum and Alomomola, he doesn't really have a solid switch in or anything like that. So I'm just going to click the Flare Blitz here, potentially pick up a knockout on the Whimsicott. As he goes for the Fake Tears, which lowers my special defense. How cool is that? So I know what he's going to do here. He's going to trap me with Gothitelle and knock me out. Nothing I can do about it. I just have to accept my fate, and down goes Arcanine. So nice Fake Tears and then trapping me with Gothitelle. That was pretty dope. But in the sequence, he goes up 5-4, but now he loses Whimsicott, which was a potential defogger, and a potential way to revenge kill Mega Diancie, a good check, or switch into Shaman and Donphan. And now, like I mentioned, Gothitelle is poisoned, Zapdos is poisoned, and if Zapdos doesn't have defog, then everything's already poisoned, basically. So I'm going to bring in Celesteela here. He's more than likely a trick variant, so I'm just going to bring in Celesteela here and click Autotomize immediately. The reason I do this is because I don't, like if you switched out into something not Alomomola, then I would still be okay. I can throw off Leech Seeds here repetitively, trying to catch the Zapdos. As you're going to see here, I don't mind if he gets a Skull Burn, because I do have Healing with Shaman in the back. So I'm not going to mind at all about this. I'm just going to keep clicking Leech Seed. I'm going to eventually switch out into my Shaman, I think the following turn here, because my opponent's not going to switch. I guess eventually I could win this war, but it's not something I want to continue doing here. So I'm just going to hard switch out into my Shaman, and my opponent's going to likely switch out into Zapdos here. So I'm just going to throw off a Leech Seed, as that's like a big annoyance to my opponent, like I mentioned in my prep. Spamming Leech Seed versus my opponent's really nice, because I can catch things like Alomomola, Zapdos, Gothitelle, and then outside of Gothitelle I can switch. So if he, like, okay, for this example, I just throw off a Leech Seed, it caught the Zapdos. So he comes in, he takes poison damage, he takes Leech Seed damage, and now he's more than likely going to click Heat Wave or Hidden Power Ice to do damage to my Shaman. So now I can switch into my Donphan, take little damage, and get leftovers and Leech Seed recovery back. And my opponent actually goes for the Volt Switch, so I'm actually immune to that, and he's down to almost half HP as I set my Stealth Rocks up, and he brings the Alomomola in. I hard switch back out to Shaman. Pretty easy play there. I can throw off a Leech Seed here. I see it actually decides to go into Mega Lopunny instead of the Zapdos here. So Mega Lopunny is now poisoned as well. So everything's poisoned outside of the Tyrantrum. And he reveals Facade here. But I'm going to be bulky enough and strong enough to put him in range to dive Poison plus Leech Seed. So here we got a nice start to the match so far. 17 turns in, and he's actually going to trick my Shaman here. This was a bit of a weird call for me. I either could attack and get a little damage off, or I could synthesis up and be at full. With him still having Alamomola, Zapdos, and even the Tyrantrum, I decided to synthesize up instead, and my opponent's actually going to trick me a Choice Scarf here. So now I'm locked into synthesis. But my opponent's also locked, well, he's not locked in the trick, but he's going to be whittled by poison. So here my opponent hard switches into Zapdos, seeing his chance to roost. So more than likely going to roost here, but he actually defogs my spikes and rocks away. A bit unfortunate, but it's okay. I can just set up my Stealth Rocks once again. Everything's poison that needs to be. Tyrantrum doesn't need to be, so that's fine. Here he's going to attempt to defog, and I know he's going to defog again here, so I'm just going to go ahead and set up my Stealth Rocks once again to make sure that, I won the Hazard War, knowing Zapdos would go down to the Toxic. So here he brings in his Alamomola. I don't necessarily want to take a Scald or anything like that yet, and I do have a Fair Switch in my Shaman, so I'm going to hard switch out here as he goes for the Toxic. I'm going to throw off a Lead Seed here, and I miss. So unfortunate there, and the fact that I missed, I'm going to hard switch out to Mega Diancie, predicting him to switch, predicting my Leech, but he doesn't, and that's fine. I figured he would. That way he would get Regenerator, and something else would catch the Wish. But here I'm just going to be able to go into Mega Diancie and just start spamming the Moonblast. He's tricked his Scarf away, so I know he's not faster than me with the Gothitelle. And he brings in his Tyrantrum here. As long as it's not Choice Scarf, I will outspeed it and knock it out with the Moonblast. And last but not least, he brings in Alamomola, below half. I did 74% earlier, so nice and easy knockout there. And Mega Diancie's coming through, and we're going to pick up the victory. So finally, it's been a while. I think Pokemon Battle Federation Season 5 Finals was our last championship, and now we've got one in the World Showdown Series Season 4. So nice to be champion once again, to be the top of the league. Once again, is really nice. I really felt it coming. When I drafted this team, I thought it was amazing. I had a little slump there. Actually, I had a bad game one, a little bit of hacks involved. Won 3 or 4 games in a row or something like that. Went into a little slump of. I had some in real life personal problems going on. Didn't really want to play Pokemon. Fell into a slump of depression. I've since then returned. Came back. Bounced back, had to win all my games to make playoffs, won all of them, given, one forfeit as well, and made playoffs, one playoff match forfeited to me, faced the number 1 team in the league in the semifinals, managed to defeat him, and come here into the finals and pick up another solid victory against another top tier player. So yeah, very happy with that. Mega Diancie, Celesteela showing their worth. A Selgor, oh my goodness, a Selgor put in the work this match as well with that Toxic Spike and Toxic on the Zapdos. Super dope. Really happy with the performance. Really happy with how the team played out and all that stuff. Not too much else to say, I suppose. I was just really happy. A good game to Pichu. I guess I could say that. Good game to the Pichu Bros. And the Adelaide Aggrons, they will survive. They will return. They'll be back stronger next season. Speaking of next season, Season 5 is in the talks. We're in the works for that, and we're actually going to be having a little bit different tier system. We're still going to be working with tiers and whatnot. I think we're adding an S tier for things like Protein Greninja, Mew Z, Mew, and all those broken mons or mons that are on the fence about being broken or not, like Deoxys Defense. Speed boost, Blaziken, but obviously we only allow dry pass, no stat pass and anything like that. And there's some other mons that are going to be allowed too. So I'm pretty stoked to see what kind of mons we're actually going to allow. I don't know if draft order has been dropped yet. I don't think it has. But yeah, definitely looking forward to Season 5. Great way to cap off Season 4 with the title here. Going to be our first World Showdown Series title, and pretty happy about that. So let me know what you thought about the prep on both sides of the battle. Let me know what you thought about the plays on both sides of the battle. What was the play of the game, and what was the Pokemon, most valuable Pokemon in the finals here, and for the season. Let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.